In this tutorial in CyberLink PowerDirector, we're going to look at how to insert, delete, and ripple delete content on your timeline. There's ways to do it that are faster than others, and there's some new features in PowerDirector, so we'd like to focus on that. We also, at the end of this tutorial, will have a bonus looking at different ways in which you can very quickly change the layout of your interface. So let's look first of all at insert, delete, and ripple delete. Oftentimes we find ourselves wanting to add a clip somewhere on the timeline. The easiest way to do that is first of all highlight the place where you want to add. Now in this case, on this timeline, we have two video clips on track 1 and a title on track number 2. So if we want to add and make sure we don't disrupt the structure of our timeline, we're going to press the N key after highlighting the first clip. That puts us to the margin between the two of them. And then we have two ways in which we can add an element. I'm going to click on this other clip in the media room, and then I can click on the button above the timeline, and then I have to choose the option. The most common is insert and move all clips. That will keep the title in line on track 2 with the video on track 1, and I inserted it. There's a faster way to do that. We'll show you that in a minute. I did Control Z to undo that. Another way is you can simply drag and drop and then choose the same option from the 5 in the menu, and you've done it that way. So you don't have to use a button above the timeline. Let's undo that, and we'll show you in a third way. The third way is simply to highlight that clip, hold the Shift key down and drag, and let go. Now what the Shift key does is it avoids going through that menu you have to go through otherwise. It basically says, I know what menu option I want. I want the option of inserting and moving all the content on all the tracks to the right. So holding the Shift key down and dragging is the fastest way of the three when it comes to inserting elements in your timeline. So that's the shortcut. You also have some options when it comes to removing content in your timeline. Now the easiest way to remove content is simply highlight the stuff you want to remove and press the delete key. But now I have an issue. I now have a gap, and so I have to manually fill it if I don't want it that way. I'll do Control Z to undo. In the newest version of PowerDirector, you have an icon that will give you some help that way. It's over here on the left side. If I hover over it, it's turn on Ripple, Editing, and Remove. So let's click it, and it'll turn blue. And now, when I press the delete key on the middle clip, it automatically moves everything to the left. I'll do Control Z to undo. So it's a very easy way to turn that feature on, so when you press the delete key, it's gone and everything else moves to the left. The same is true if you're going to simply shorten a clip. It doesn't have to be the middle clip. Let's take the first clip, and if I shorten it this way and let go, notice what happened. Everything filled in the gap. I'll do Control Z to undo. If I turn it off and shorten it, you notice now I have a gap. Sometimes I may want that, but if I don't, it's nice to have this on. Now there's another option you have that you can do that will impact this kind of editing. I'll do Control Z to get back. If I click on my settings and I go into my editing section, here's Enable Auto Ripple for editing. This is new again to users of 365. I'll turn that off, click on OK. Now my icon is gone, but I still have the way of dealing with this. If I want to ripple delete the middle clip, all I have to do is hold the Alt key down on the keyboard when I press delete, and it will ripple delete. So I can use the keyboard combination of Alt delete regardless of whether or not I have this feature. So I can do this in any recent version of PowerDirector. If I want to turn it back on again, I simply click on my gear settings, go to editing, and I enable my ripple delete. It's actually faster to use this because you don't have to hold one key down. You can just press the normal delete key and it will do that. And again, also it works great for trimming because it automatically moves things. So that's a way in which you can become very efficient when it comes to inserting any kind of media on your timeline and deleting it so that everything to the right stays in sync. Let me give you the bonus tip here. We're going to look at some new features you have if you're a 365 user when it comes to the interface. We have a new icon up to the right called Layout. When I click on that one, I find that I have 4 different options. The first one is default, and that's the one here where we have the preview screen in the upper right, media on the left, and the timeline all the way across the screen in the bottom. The second option is called library editing. When you click on that, the focus is on giving you more room in your media room or title room or transition room, whichever one it may be, so you can see all of these elements. So anything over here, you have a lot more real estate to work with. Your timeline is slightly shortened and you still have a large preview screen. And as is the case with any of these, you can adjust them and make them different in size any way you want using the layouts. I'm going to go back simply to the default, and there we are. Now let's look at the third option that we have. It's called Portrait. And Portrait focuses on content on the right. So you have more vertical space in this window, and then the timeline is on the left and the media is on the upper left. So those are the options that you have. Now, if you're working in a dual screen mode, you have a fourth one. I'm going to click on Dual Monitor. What that does is it floats the preview window, which you can shrink or change any way you want. And then you have the other screen that you can work on. Now, if your other screen isn't active, the way you can always activate it, no matter what mode you're in, is right-click on the preview window and choose the option that says Dual Preview and turn it on to primary and secondary display. So what that does is that turns the preview on to my other monitor and it defaults to this layout. Now I can use this in any layout. I can go back to default or I can go to the dual monitor one. It doesn't actually turn my monitor on or off. It just means that I have a lot more real estate on my, in this case, my left monitor to work with timelines and to work with the media that I have. But I'm not limited to that. I don't have to use this. If I'm in dual mode, I can use anything I want. But it's a little bit redundant to have a lot of real estate for your preview screen on the left monitor when your right monitor is entirely your preview as well. So those are the options that you have by clicking on these on the left panel in CyberLink PowerDirector. We hope these tips have been useful for you as you grow in your competency as an editor in CyberLink PowerDirector.